Yeah.
I had asked a simple question. Is the member saying they have been found guilty, all of them, in any court of law, or is he otherwise prepared to withdraw his statement? That's all I've asked. If he says he's not prepared to withdraw, we leave it and we follow up.
I have the impression that they are found guilty in the overseas court of law.
Can I know what is the basis on which the member says that he is under that impression that they have all been found guilty?
This is based on the case has been such a big case overseas and in Singapore, and the Capital Corp has paid such a big fine overseas.
Can I suggest that member works a little bit, finds out what he is talking about before coming here and making serious allegations? If I were to tell him that his statement is false, it is untrue to say they have all been found guilty elsewhere, certainly not in Singapore, is he prepared to withdraw his statement?
Speaker, if the minister say that they have not been found guilty overseas, then I'm prepared to withdraw my statement.
Well, for the record, one person pleaded guilty in the United States. To the best of my knowledge, no one else has been found guilty. And it is a very serious statement to come here, make allegations without doing your homework, and then propagate this sort of stuff all over the place. Really unparliamentary and not acceptable. And then to say, well, I've read, it seems to be big. Unfortunately, this is a thread running through all of Mr. Leong's statements. He doesn't do his homework, he doesn't check, he just says all sorts of things. And that is not the way debates ought to go. I'm glad Mr. Leong has withdrawn that statement. 5 individuals were named in the Brazilian court documents. But I don't know if Mr. Leong knows this, they were not the defendants in that case. And as far as I'm aware, no views were expressed by the court that they had engaged in wrongdoing. And in these circumstances, the general policy of not disclosing the names of the individuals who had been investigated applies. It applies to KOM and it applies to anyone else. And as I said, one person subsequently pleaded guilty in the US, the legal counsel. Then you assess, do you release his name alone and not the others? This is not a case of politicizing these matters. If you apply it here, then you must be prepared that in future, whenever some names have been leaked in the media elsewhere, or whenever their names have been mentioned in some context, not as defendants, no, the court doesn't express an opinion, their names are mentioned by some witnesses, and Mr. Leong is here arguing for a principle, and I would like to hear from him, that in all such cases, as long as their name is mentioned by someone and is public, then when we investigate, even when we conclude that there is no case, we ought to release the names. Can I hear from him through you, sir?
Speaker, I think I'm not going to answer that question because I think to and fro, we know what the minister's stance is and the government's stance is that they are not going to release the names of the individuals. And
I am prepared to consider and ask police to reconsider if member says that's a principle and should apply to all future cases.
Speaker, that's not the principle I'm asking.